I used so I am now 4 months in. So I've had my 4 month surge anniversary on the 29th, and it's January 4th. And I made it through the holidays, Christmas and New Year's, pretty much unscathed. I think I ate one piece of pumpkin pie with just a little whipped cream, not eating the crust, and I think like 4 chocolate covered peanuts. So I pretty much am not having too hard of a time with the sugar stuff. I maybe had one day because it was around so much that it was pretty bad, but for the most part, feeling pretty good about it. You know, not feeling like I'm ravenously hungry when it's sitting there. It makes it a lot easier not to partake. One of the things that happened though that I thought was kind of cool was that coming out with my gastric bypass, yes, I had gastric bypass with everybody at work. We had a potluck, and everybody, when they sort of realized that I couldn't eat the sweets and the sugar, they kind of banded together, and almost everything at the potluck was stuff that I could eat, like roasted pork, homemade meatballs, just a bunch of stuff like that. We had a cheese tray, and I was just really touched that they were willing to support me the way that they were. And, people could be so negative about it if they wanted. And I think that's one of the fears. But I think for the most part, people are pretty receptive. And, we all made better choices, I think, because of it. I was able to try a little bit of just about everything. And compared to the other teams in our building, our team was really excited about the food that we had and how good it was. So it was just, I don't know, I guess I was kind of internally blown away by the fact that they went out of their way to make sure that I could really participate and not feel left out in the festivities. So I think I was really worried about coming out because women especially can be just really catty and mean, especially when it comes to another woman losing weight. And I don't look like a fashion model, and I'm probably never going to. I think I can take that from probably to definitely. But I'm looking more normal. I'm looking less like a really heavy girl and more like a normal person. And I feel good about that. People are really supportive of any changes I've made, from coloring my hair to the bangs to, just if I have a good day where they think I look good. So that's great. I didn't expect so much. I don't think I've heard really anything negative from anybody, except from people who are like, there's a couple of people that I didn't know very well that were like, oh yeah, I know somebody who had that surgery, but they gained all their weight back. And that's fine. I figure if I gain some of the weight back, I'm still so much healthier and so much better off. I didn't do it so I could look like a size 0. I did it so that I could be healthy and move and not be so depressed. And I was writing in my blog on obesity help that I feel like I was forcing myself to participate in life every day. It's so nice not to have to force myself to get out of bed and force myself to walk here and do this. And I was doing it with a passion. I was, ran a half marathon and I did all these things, but it was all so hard. And the more that I move around and don't have these chains on me, the more that I see how much I was really having to work just to live. And I don't feel that way so much anymore. So one of the interesting things is that happened too is I've been off and on with my therapist, and I'm doing really well health-wise. But I was telling her she asked me about how I feel about clothes, and I said, well, I can still wear my clothes. They were too tight for me before, so now they're just kind of a little too loose. And you can see like on this shirt, it's kind of like sliding off the shoulder because it's getting a little too big. And I said, so I'm trying to kind of make my clothes last because I really don't know where I'm going to end up. And I feel like I'm kind of in between sizes right now. And because of the way that I lose weight, especially with surgery, I still have a lot of weight in my stomach. And so like pant sizes, I could probably go down another pant size, but I have a lot of weight there. So in the tummy area, so the butt and thighs are loose, but the tummy still needs to go down a little bit before I can move down in pants. And I don't want to spend a lot of money because if I go to 16s today, in 3 months I'll probably have to be in 14s, and so which would be really exciting. I'm not going to lie to you. So, so she says, how much weight have you lost? And right now I'm at 64 pounds, which is a lot of weight, especially in 4 months. And I didn't really feel like I'd lost that much, because to me, I look like me, just a little bit smaller. And she was helping me to realize that my mind and my body really aren't on the same page. And they really haven't been probably ever. When I was 274 pounds, I think in my mind, I looked like I do now. And so when I'd see a picture of myself, I would just be like, that can't be right. How am I so big? And then I guess I could see a picture of myself and I would be like, yeah, that's me. I'm still big. I still have a big tummy. But my brain and my body aren't on the same page. And she says it takes about 3 to 4 months for those to really catch up to each other. So I guess one of the stories that kind of illustrates that really well is I went to go buy a new shirt because my shirts aren't fitting right. And I'm standing there, I'm at Walmart, I'm on the clearance rack because I'm not going to spend a lot of money on clothes right now. And I'm looking at the shirts, and I had to stand there for 10, 15 minutes going, what size do I get? Because my strategy before was always find the very biggest size that was on the rack, and that should hopefully fit, or if it shrinks a little, then it won't shrink too much to where I can't wear it. And I wanted to make sure it was long enough to cover up my stomach, because my stomach and pants would separate if it was too short, and I'd have belly hanging out. It was gross, and just trying to guesstimate on the biggest possible size I could get it in. And then now that's not the plan anymore. So how do I pick what size I should wear? And now on top of that, I'm not going to be this size very long. I'm going to be smaller later. So I'm just sitting there going, I don't know what to get. And I finally settled on a size 16, 18, and honestly walked out of there feeling like it's probably not going to fit right. It's probably going to be too small. But if it is, it'll fit later, and it's not the end of the world. And it's a clearance, so I can't return it. And I didn't really have time to sit and try them on. Although with all that time I was thinking about it, I probably could have. And put it on, and it looked amazing. I mean, it fit, and it's fitted, and I look like I have a shape a little bit. I mean, I'm still heavy, but I looked more normal. I looked more like a normal person, and not just like a really fat person that was trying to hide it. And so that's pretty huge, and I still am going to have a hard time shopping for clothes, and I probably won't do a whole lot of it, but it is getting to that point as we see that, I'm going to have to start figuring something out. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. That's a good problem to have. And it's hard because I don't want to even get rid of the big clothes. I'm still hanging on to them. I have a size 3X shirt that was huge and puffy, and I know I'm never going to be able to wear that thing, and I don't know why I'm hanging on to it. But in the back of my mind, I still have that, well, what if I gain the weight back? What am I going to wear? It's so hard to find clothes when you're big. And, excuse me. And so it's just a kind of a weird situation. So, overall, I'm doing really well, and I'm really happy, and, I don't regret this at all. I'm not saying that anybody should or shouldn't do it, but I'm really glad I went with the type of surgery I had. I'm really glad that, I've gotten past the point where things are making me sick all the time. I rarely, if ever, get sick. I got sick in the last 3 weeks. One time, I ate a piece of recooked chicken that I think I just ate a little too fast and didn't digest right. I had to go in the work bathroom and throw up. I was trying to be really quiet about it. But other than that, I really don't get sick. I kind of know what I can and can't eat, and most things I can. I still am not eating pasta or rice or bread. And I tried the sparkling cider at New Year's, and that made my stomach feel bad. The carbonation just felt horrible. So I did not feel too bad about missing my Diet Coke as I have from time to time, because I know that it's not going to make me feel good. And knowing that sugar is not going to make me feel good, or bread's not going to make me feel good, makes it so much easier. And the fact that I'm not just starving all the time is making life easier for me. I do get hungry, but I don't starve. I don't feel like I can't focus on anything but food. And that's a good feeling. So still losing. I did the averages out. So at this point, I'm losing about 10 pounds a month. But it's coming off like no pounds 1 week and then 4 pounds the next week. It's really weird. So my husband was saying, yeah, you're just terrible when you're losing weight, when you're trying to lose weight, because it never comes off fast enough for you. And he's right. When I was trying to lose weight, I couldn't be patient. And if I didn't just know that it was coming off, it would be mentally torture to me. But I know if I have a week now that it's not coming off, it is going to come off later. Maybe not in the amount that I would like, but it's coming. And that is really a good feeling, to know that, oh, well, okay, so I'm not really dropping this week, but probably next week it'll be fine. And sure enough, usually it has something to do with, my female cycle and the way that I work. And soon enough that, it drops off, and I'll stand there at the scale going, that can't be right. And I'll weigh the next day, and sure enough, I'm down, just seeing lots of positive changes, feeling pretty good about it, feeling, when I have to carry something heavy around, that little thought in my mind goes, you've lost more weight than this. This is what you carried around all the time. And just the feeling that my knees don't hurt all the time, and I could wear a pair of high-heeled boots without, being in horrible pain. And, my life isn't revolving around my weight and what I can and can't do because of it. So that feels good. I still have a fat girl mentality, and I am still a big girl, but being big I think is fine, but I think it's the mentality behind it. And I really did have a fat girl mentality. I was trying real hard not to, but it was just hard because I had limits, and it's still, I sit down at a booth, or I prepare myself not to be able to fit in, or have to be embarrassed that I have to squeeze, or when I have to pass by somebody, I'm so conscious of how much room I might be taking up, and I'm not so much worried about that. And I used to I notice on other people's blogs, they start vlogging a little bit less and a little bit less, but it's because I'm starting to realize it becomes so much less a focus. When you're big, every day is a focus on that weight, because you have to figure how you fit in the world. But as you have to start thinking about that less, it becomes a less important part of your life. And I'm thrilled to be smaller than I was. I'm thrilled to be able to bend over and put my shoes on and tie my shoes. I'm thrilled to be able to sleep at night without choking to death. I feel good that I look better. Some lady told me I look 20 years younger the other day. Well, I'm 36. So I remember thinking, does that mean I look 16, or did I look 56 before? But yeah, I feel better, and so I look better. And I'm still not doing 100%, living 100% the way I want to live, and there's still room for improvement. But I feel like there's possibilities that weren't there before. And instead of feeling like, that's it, I'm just going to have to give up, I'm going to be huge forever, I feel like now there's a possibility that maybe it's just not going to be a factor in my daily life. In fact, now it's rarely a factor. The biggest factor right now that comes from my weight is the fact that I have to make sure I have good food around, the easy snacks. That's the biggest thing. And I think that will even get easier in time, because I'll just be more in the habit of it. So yeah, I think I understand why people blog less and less. It's just not their central focus anymore in their mind, and they can move on to other things. And so as your weight's not an issue, not the cause of all your problems, now you have other problems that you can focus on, and other things you can do. So I just wanted to update you guys, let you know everything's going well, and I will keep you up to date as much as I can. So either you'll hear from me next month when I'm really close, I'm hoping, to the 200-pound mark, or if I get under it, I'll be on here that day to let you know how excited I am, because from 274 to getting under 200 is humongous. So like a huge win. So I'm really looking forward to that goal. So